Hey, I've never really done one of these before. Probably not how I typically would do this, but because of the issues and sensitive nature of this, I wanted to do this in a much more formal way with a script and everything so I can stay on topic and not really go off the rails. I've kept silent, watching and listening and waiting, but silence is no longer an option. The time has come to speak truth, to rise and stand firm. To Turning Point USA, my associates and I stand ready to strengthen your mission and carry this movement forward. To Erica Kirk, we are here to support you in every way possible. The pain and the loss you are going through should never have happened. We grieve with you. To Charlie, we have the watch now. Today I call for the creation of the Charlie Kirk Act, a law that holds news outlets accountable for blurring the line between fact and opinion. News was never meant to be a weapon of manipulation. News was meant to be that of truth. We had an act like this, but the Obama administration removed it. Opinions have their place, but they must be clearly labeled as opinions. Facts are facts. Truth is truth. And if you masquerade opinions as facts, you are no longer a journalist. You are an activist. And the American people deserve better. And let me be clear, one of the greatest evils today is the weaponization of words taken out of context. The media and political operatives have done this again and again with Charlie. They took his Second Amendment statements, cut them to pieces, and painted him as extreme. They twisted his words on empathy, turning what was deeper call to action into something ugly and false. But truth cannot be found in half sentence. Truth cannot be found in sound bites engineered to deceive. If you refuse to show the full context, then shut up. You are not reporting news, you are propagating lies. Under the Kirk Act, media outlets must be held accountable for pushing false narratives by ripping words apart and feeding the public poison. Free speech does not mean free deceit. But it's not only the media. There are organizations, some right here in our own state of Tennessee, whose very mission is to spread hate and death. Some openly call for the killing of Christian children, and the government knows about them, yet nothing is done. I call upon leaders to act. Make these groups for what they are, terrorist organizations. Shut them down, destroy them before they destroy the innocent. Because if the government will not defend its people, then the people must rise and defend themselves. Charlie Kirk gave everyone a microphone. He believed in dialogue. He believed in letting people speak. If you believe that was hate, then you are the problem. He spoke facts, clear, undeniable facts. He spoke the values that this nation was built on, values that for decades were considered normal. Faith, family, freedom, truth. Those are not extremism. Those are not radical ideas. Those are the foundations of America. Charlie was willing to have conversations. He listened. He learned. And yes, he even changed his views when truth revealed itself through dialogue. This is not hate. That is courage. And those who despised him, not for lies, but for truths they did not want to hear, you have revealed yourselves. By rejecting dialogue, by rejecting truth, you have become the very intolerance you claim to oppose. Violence is violence. Words are words. Words are not violence. They may hurt your feelings, but if words drive you to violence, then you are weak-minded, gullible, and lost. And if words bring you to kill someone, that says everything about where this world is heading. Yes, people try to compare this tragedy with other shootings. What about the schools? What about the kids? And Charlie himself spoke about those tragedies. But he also spoke words of truth. Those deaths were the result of evil people, broken souls, and untreated mental illness. We live in a country with nearly 400 million firearms. If guns were the problem, the streets would have been run red long ago. Decades ago, kids brought rifles to school for target practice and hunting, and massacres did not happen. The difference is not the gun, the difference is the heart of society. We have normalized mental health breakdowns. We have force-fed generation after generation with prescription drugs that create suicidal thoughts instead of healing broken minds. We are in the middle of a mental health crisis. And instead of confronting it, we are pumping out pills. The other deaths are heartbreaking. They should never happen. But Charlie's death is not the same. There's a difference. This was not random. This was not a broken man lashing out blindly. This was a targeted assassination. A man who used only words murdered in front of his wife and child. So do not compare the two. This was a strike at truth itself, a strike at dialogue, a strike against a man who wanted to talk with those who disagreed, not destroy them. And those who excuse it or cheer it have lost their souls. They are no longer human. They are demons. We are watching a collapse of society before our very eyes. We have become so self-absorbed, so obsessed with me, that we no longer care about others. Social media has rotted the hearts and minds of millions. We are scrolling, we scroll, we post, we chase likes, but we forget to live, to serve, to sacrifice for one another. Every great empire has fallen when its people have turned inward. When selfishness replaced service, when feelings replaced truth, when indulgence replaced discipline, and we are walking that same path. We are no longer concerned about the strength of our nation, the future of our children, or the greatness of America. We are consumed with self, and society built on nothing but self cannot stand. The root of this sickness, this is the root of this sickness. This is why evil has taken root. Because when nation cares only for itself, it loses its soul. We no longer help each other. We walk past suffering and convince ourselves someone else will do it. But no one does. Look at Daniel Penny, a man who stepped in to protect others, prosecuted instead of praised. I'm going to butcher her name. Look at Irina, bleeding out on a train floor. Not one passenger got up to check on her, to hold her neck, to help. That is not the world we should be living in. Violent criminals belong in jail. Law and order must be a priority again. And mental health must become top priority. Not just a prescription pad, but real healing, real accountability, real help. Because when good people are too afraid to act, or worse, punished for acting, that is when society collapses. That is when evil wins. And now, with his death, you have done something you never intended. You have multiplied him. You have created millions of more voices like Charlie Kirk. Thank you for that. But it should not have taken the life of a good man, a family man, a father, a husband. It should not have taken a bullet to awaken this nation, yet here we are. We all have witnessed it, a shot that fired that changed the world, and we will not go back. This is not right versus left. This is good versus evil. Evil exists in many places, but has taken root and spread like fire on the left. If you cheer death of another, you have lost your soul. You are no longer human. You have become an agent of Satan. You are now a demon. A war of souls is upon us. The righteous will prevail. We will no longer allow the persecution of the Christian faith to continue. I've been saying this a lot lately. I will now close with a statement I've been making a lot lately. We are the soldiers of God under the command of Saint Michael the Archangel. By his sword we drive back the darkness. By his shield we will defend the truth. And with the courage of voices like Charlie Kirk, we will not falter, we will not bow. For no evil shall stand against us. Quest ut Deus, who is like God. Soldiers of God must rise. The time is now. No longer shall we stand idle while our voices are silenced and the good people suffer. Time has come to rise as God's soldiers under the command of Saint Michael, the Archangel, the warrior of heaven. With the shield of faith, sword of truth, we will defend the innocents, guard the weak, and strike down the forces of darkness. Evil shall not prevail, for we march in the light of God, and we will not yield until victory is won. No more silence, no more fear. Stand your ground, raise your voice, defend the weak, defeat the evil. The new crusade has begun. Charlie Kirk was the changing path of this world, and you see it across everybody. All the nations have realized things have changed. Thank you, and God bless Charlie Kirk and his family.